Welcome to ICFB Star Entertainment. We're delighted to have you here, Amber.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So, Amber, what part of the world are you from?
I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada.
So you're right beside me then. We're both in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Hey, I think I've met you a couple times.
You bet.
I think we've even had the opportunity to share a stage. That was pretty fun.
It was actually.
We should do that again.
I think that should be a plan, yes.
Okay, let's do it. So, Amber, how did you first get started in music?
Well, it was when I was a kid. It's kind of a long story. So you ready?
I am 100%. This is your hour.
Okay. So, I'll start with my first memories of how music kind of touched me. My great granny, she had a house in East Vancouver, and she was quite older when we used to go visit her when I was quite young, like maybe 5 or 6, I think, was some of my earliest memories there. And so it was kind of quiet time, my parents were like, don't be too rambunctious when you go there, we're just there, Granny's not well. And she had a piano in her living room. And It was all they could do to keep me away from that thing, because I just wanted to get up there and hammer on it like the whole time, like kids do, like curiosity, right? So yeah, exactly. So,
while Granny's going, no, not my piano.
Yeah, she was usually pretty cool about it. It was more my parents that were like, okay. But yeah, usually sometimes near the end of the visit, I would be allowed to get up there and play on it for a few minutes. And I just remember like that first time jumping up on that piano bench and my feet were dangling and I hit that big note on the piano and it resonated, and I just remember feeling that music hit me like, oh wow, this is something really, really cool. So I think that was the first time that I really had music resonate with me, and I thought, wow. And then it just progressed through my whole life. When I was about 13 or 14, I got my first guitar, acoustic guitar, and I didn't really know how to play anything for a couple of years. I would just take it around with me everywhere I went, and I happened to know musicians, or people would ask me about my guitar, and I said, I don't really know how to play it much. I can do a few chords, and people would actually take my guitar and play it for me and show me things along the way. So I think that, I consider myself a self-taught musician, but really I think it was a community of musicians over the years, just jamming and meeting and playing with different people that really showed me how to play and got me involved in the music community. And then, it just sort of progressed from there. I was writing poetry, and then as soon as I got better at guitar, I found the two kind of went hand in hand. So that's how the songwriting thing came into play. When I first started to play guitar, I just wanted to be able to, play a couple chords around the campfire with my friends, and that happened. But then slowly over time, it just progressed into, gigging in bands, playing different instruments, just exploring the music world, gaining experience, and just jamming with lots and lots of different people, different places, and then eventually starting my own band. So.
Yay!
Yeah.
So what is your greatest passion about music? What really drives that passion?
Well, there's two things. It's the connection with people, which I really love. I think music transcends. I think, being able to connect with people through music, it's like a universal language. So there's that. My other passion about it is it's a good release for any stress, anxiety, anything that you're feeling in life, certain things. It's a good way to deal with all those things, because I call it packing light. You put those feelings into your music and you kind of release them. And I think through that, you write songs that are real, things that people can relate to. And again, I think it bridges that connection with people out there in the world.
I like that, packing light. Taking the weight off your shoulders, right?
Yeah,
I've done
exactly.
that too. Yeah, using the song as a place to find healing for yourself sometimes offers your audience to get that same kind of feeling back, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't always write songs from my own personal perspective. I mean, a lot of them are, but some of them are just things I see in the world, things that I see happening, kind of using that as a voice to
Hmm.
say, hey, this stuff's going on, or that's going on, or I've experienced this, or today's a good day kind of thing. Just different topics, I guess you could say.
Nice, nice. So, tell us a little bit more about the vision that you have for Amber Ablaze band music.
Well, I'm always the kind of person who's been like, write what you feel,
Yeah.
do what feels right.
Okay.
So, I was doing a lot of work. I was playing bass in a friend's band, and then COVID hit. I was at home. Obviously, it was a stressful time, going through a lot of things, but then spending a lot of time at home and not getting out playing, just there writing a bunch of songs. So in 2022, I decided, when things started opening up, I said, I have these songs. I think it's time now that I start my own
Hmm.
a band. Right. So I really didn't have a whole bunch of expectations on it when I first started. I just kind of thought, okay, I have these songs. Let's get together with some different players and see what happens. And usually that's how I am when I'm playing with people for the first time. I don't really put too much expectation. I just kind of see where it goes and see how the feel is and see how the vibe is and how it progresses. And over the last few years, had a few lineup changes, but I think on the right lineup with I call them the rhythm section from hell. That's Dean Downey on our drums and Eddie Ram on bass. And yeah, we got this little power trio going on now, and our attitudes all match up with our motivations about how much we want to play and travel and do all that kind of stuff. So that's big on our list. We just released a single, Wild Wild Woman, which hopefully you guys will be hearing today. And we've got a bunch more songs recorded. We're going back into the studio next weekend with Rob Begg at Marpool Studios in Langley. And we're hoping to have an album come out in the new year.
Nice.
And then I got some songs that are a bit different vibe, a more this album will be called Freedom. So a lot of the songs that I wrote during COVID, they're a little bit more serious, still fun and rocking, but serious, more serious content. Whereas the second album that I've already started to get some songs together for, it's just going to be really light, like fun, upbeat kind of party song album with lots of good vibes on it and stuff like that. So we're hoping to get to the US and beyond and do some touring. I've been looking at setting up some touring for this year. We've been applying for festivals and awards with our songs. So fingers crossed, let's see what happens.
Well, you never know if you don't play, right?
That's right. And we've been working obviously with big records as well. We've been signed up with them, and they've been helping us do wonderful things like this, like setting up this interview and some radio interviews to promote our song. So that's really great as well.
Well, I'm pretty sure Big Records is pretty excited to have you on board as well. Well, I'm excited to have you on board, and I'm from Big Records, so thank you very much for being part of our team and our family, Amber. It's a small family, but we're very close knit. So. So what's the secret sauce of your music? What would be the chemistry, the magic? What would be that kind of heart and center of your music?
Well, I would say a big thing is crowd engagement. Like to really get out there out front of the band and have a conversation with the audience through music.
Nice.
And, even during our shows or after our shows, I'll go out directly into the audience and really connect with people, talk to them, ask them how they like the show, thank them for coming. We like people to feel something. We like people to walk away from our shows feeling like they feel alive. You know what I mean? Like they had an experience. So yeah, that's kind of what we're all about. Just one of our band mottos is today's a good day to be alive, no matter what happens. And, just moving forward, progressing through our music and just seeing where the road takes us.
Nice. I like that. So what would you consider to be your greatest success?
Well, I guess the first success would be even being able to harness and play an instrument in front of people. That was a big challenge for me when I first started out music. I used to be very, very nervous of getting up and playing in front of people, and quite proud of myself on that one, because if you knew me way back when I started, it was
Oh.
shaken. Yeah, it was like the worst feeling in the world. I thought, I'll never get over this. I thought to myself, is this ever going to get it any easier? And just from years of doing it so much, I think I put that to rest inside me. Now I can get up on that stage and feel proud, and I have the guys that are backing me up. Like I said, Rhythm Section from Hell, Eddie and Dean, they're awesome. So
Nice,
to get up
nice.
there and yeah, and play music with my friends is just such a wonderful feeling.
It
So
is,
I
yeah.
think that is at this point my biggest musical success, as well as just starting to get our original music out there in the world to share with everybody. So
Nice. So, did you find that rehearsing more often gave you a little bit more courage to get up on stage and made that easier and easier? Or, just for some of our other listeners that might be struggling with, getting up on stage themselves?
yeah, that's part of it. Make sure you have your stuff down. But in knowing that, you just have to know with live performance, there's a lot of factors. Like anything can happen while you're up there, and random things can happen. You kind of gotta just be able to laugh at yourself and roll with it, and nothing's perfect. But get up there and do the best job you can and put your heart and soul into every performance, because that comes across to the audience and people can resonate with that.
Nice. So, what would you say your biggest learning moment in your music career might have been?
I think a lot of it has to do with releasing music, navigating the music business, learning about all the legal things that you have to do to properly get, all your music in order to be properly released out there on all the platforms and everything like that. So it's a constant evolution of there's always something new to learn, and you can't ever possibly know everything. So I think that's why it's so intriguing to me. There's always some way to evolve and grow.
Always, always. There's always room for growth, isn't there? Yeah.
Mhm.
If you could give yourself some advice, knowing what you know now, what would you have said to yourself 20 years ago?
Oh my gosh. I would say keep at her. It gets easier, but it doesn't get easier. But if you really love something, just keep at it. And when you're on the right path. And I definitely feel that way with music. I can't imagine my life without music, all the wonderful places it's taken me, all the wonderful people I've met and got to work with and share stages with. So, yeah, just keep giving her.
So when the road gets rough, just give her a little bit more gas, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Because the challenges are going to be there anyways, right?
That's
You know,
right.
if you choose to follow your passion, you're going to have challenges. And if you choose not to, you're going to have challenges. So why not live your best
Yeah.
life, right? Yeah, I agree
And
with
I
you.
find and I find too, like when you're not being challenged, you can tend to stagnate. So
Yes.
when things are kind of a little bit difficult, that means you're learning and you're growing. You're going through those growing pains. So and then you look back like months or sometimes even years later and you go, wow, look at how far I've come. Look what I've done in that amount of time. It seemed like it was maybe slow going, or maybe I wasn't learning anything at the time. But then when you look back and you go, wow, like look at how things have changed. So,
There you go. There you go. So have you always lived in Canada or have you lived anywhere else or?
I lived in several different areas of Canada, actually. I grew up
Okay.
in Vancouver. I've never lived abroad anywhere else, any other countries. But Canada, I grew up in Vancouver. I lived in the Okanagan for quite a few years. And then in my early 20s, I spent some time in the prairies in Saskatchewan. And I was out there. Obviously, I was still doing music then and playing music and working out there. So, and then I came back to BC to be closer to my family. So that's where I live now.
Well, being close to family is really important.
You bet.
I I yeah, so I think being close to family is important because you only live once, right? And this is what matters.
Yeah, for sure.
It's time, right?
I think
It's
as
a
you get older too, you really cherish those moments even more. And if you don't, you should, because they don't last long. Life is short. My advice to anyone is get to know your family, really get to know them. And my mom was just here visiting because my cousins got married, so that was a really
Nice.
nice thing that happened last weekend. And just sitting down with my mom and asking her all those family stories about my great grandma and grandpa, and your elders are your biggest connection to your past. So if you've ever wondered things about your family that you don't know, make sure to ask them those questions.
Well,
Because
yeah, and if it's a bit difficult to get the information, I suggest Bailey's because
oh yeah.
moms and grandmas always like Bailey's.
That'll get
Just
them
slide a little
talking.
bit into the coffee,
Yeah.
and the stories come flying right out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, I agree with you 100% because, family is where you're from, right? So they know your history. And, when you connect with your family, somehow you start to get to know yourself better. You'll be like, oh, well, maybe that's why I like that so much. Oh, or,
Yeah.
you get these little epiphanies, right?
Or this is why I
Yeah.
have this trait. It must come from somebody, or,
Right. Yeah. It wasn't from my mom and it wasn't from my dad. So who is it from? Yeah, that's totally fun. Where's your mom from?
My parents are both from Vancouver. Yeah, my mom
Hmm.
actually lives in the Okanagan now in Peachland.
Peachland is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, she's got a nice little condo up there by the beach. It's beautiful there.
Nice, nice. Beach living is my favorite. I love being near the beach.
Me too.
Yeah. Are you a swimmer, Amber? Do you like to swimming and stuff or?
I do enjoy swimming, but I find a lot of times it's too cold for me. I'm not good with the cold, so might be a quick in and out.
Oh, so don't do Harrison Lake, but definitely check out Cultus Lake because that's always warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Here in British Columbia, we're talking about tourism here in British Columbia, guys. All right. All right. So we're going to switch over our hats now and we're going to talk a little bit about yourself and what entertains you, Amber. Okay.
Oh, sure. Well, right now, I'm actually in Whistler, BC for the weekend, which is like kind of a ski resort town in BC. It's a beautiful place. There's lots of things to do. So we still have some family here from out of town. So we came up here and we rented a little condo for the weekend and we're making some good food. And then after this interview today, we're going to go out hiking and exploring the woods. So that's one thing that I really like a lot. I'm a nature person. Growing up here in BC, my dad always took us out fishing and boating and camping and stuff. So nature's always been a really big part of my life. And it's a good way to
Hmm.
get grounded, especially. When you're someone that's in the entertainment business or the music business, you're always out, meeting lots of people and stuff, and a lot of energies can kind of be around you. So it's a good way to just get clear of all that and relax. And I think nature is really the best TV show. I always find something when I'm out walking that's beautiful and amazing. So I like to take pictures. That's another one of my passions. I like photography. I do have
Nice.
a Facebook page for my photography if anyone wants to check it out. It's Blaze Photography. And
Nice.
I'm just a hobbyist, but I like to take a lot of shots of places I've been. I like to travel. I would like to travel more, actually, time permitting. But Dean and I just came back from a road trip halfway across Canada. We drove to Manitoba and back. And so it was
Hmm.
nice to see part of Canada again. It's been many years since I've been out that way. And so we really enjoyed it. And of course, I'm one of those people that has to stop like a lot. So that was good. We got to see lots of cool lakes and rivers, and we checked out, a lot of really nice scenery in the mountains and the prairies as well. So
Nice. Well, it's a beautiful road trip for sure. So you
yeah.
mentioned that you want to travel. Where would you want to travel to?
Well, I think the US is for music, the US or Europe is high on my list to check out, but also like Mexico, maybe some South America. I'm pretty gamey to go different
Anywhere?
places. I have an aunt that lives in Ireland and she's offered me to stay there, so I think that one's definitely high on the list,
So you're
get some.
Irish, eh?
I'm not Irish. It's my uncle's wife, actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's married into our family. But yeah,
Nice.
she's my auntie since I was a baby. So love her dearly, auntie. Hi.
Well, your roots, are you Canadian, like true Canadian, or are you?
Yes, Canadian. I was born in Burnaby, BC, and I was raised in Langley, BC.
Nice. Nice. Which school did you go to out in Langley?
Langley Meadows and then Mountain Secondary.
Oh, wow. I grew up in Langley too, but I went to HT Stafford and Brookswood. So I'm like, wait a second.
I had some friends at those schools as well.
Yeah, I had some friends at Poppy too, but I didn't get out to any of those dances at Poppy or anything like that. So there you go. All right. So do you speak any other languages, Amber?
No, actually, and I wish I did. It's one of those things I didn't stick with in school, and I think it's one of the probably the most useful things that I would have kept with me lifelong was learning French, especially
Yes.
being Canadian and traveling through parts of Quebec,
Yes.
some smaller areas where there's not a lot of English speaking happening, but they'll try if they see you're trying. But yeah, I muddled my way through that horribly. So it's
Good for
definitely
you.
something I should definitely brush up on.
Well, yeah, French is fun, right? But I mean, when we were in high school, it really didn't seem to be all that relevant. It was just one of those courses we had to take, part of the
Right.
curriculum, right? But,
Yeah.
growing up, now it's kind of fun. Like somebody says something in French, and I'm kind of like, you're taken back to that time where you learned a little bit of French in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun. All right. Next question. If you're going to watch a movie, are you going to watch it at home or are you going to go out? Which is your favorite?
Oh, this one's super easy, and everybody who knows me knows I don't do the movies. I love watching movies on my couch with all my munchies and my blanket and my heat pad. The only reason is it's not that I don't enjoy a good movie at the theater. Like if it's something I really want to see, but it'll be really rare if I go to the movies. I just find I have a bit of a bad back, so the seats they aren't the greatest for me, and I just find like any time of year you go to the movie theater, like I said, I'm really sensitive to the cold. It's always they have the air conditioning just cranked on in there, right? So it's like I always have to bring a blanket just to go to the movie theater. So no, I like the comfort of my own home to watch movies.
Well, you're not alone. I don't like the cold either. I've got my blanket too, and and today, yeah, I've got the big fluffy sweater, right? It
Yeah.
feels like a nice warm hug, right? Like I love to feel warm, right? But
Well,
I've
it's
always
that
got a
time of year
blankie.
now. Comfort food, sweaters, and blankets, right?
Yep, 100% gnocchi. We love gnocchi, pasta.
Yeah, all those hearty soul foods.
Yep, lots of sauces. We like sauces.
Yeah, you bet. We're making a big lasagna for everybody for dinner tonight after our hike. So it's all
Oh,
ready to go.
wow. Nice, nice. I love lasagna. That's so good. Yeah. All right. So, what would you say would be your favorite genre of music, and who would be your favorite artist?
Ooh, that's a tough question because there's so many great styles of music out there. And I like a lot of them. Right now, I'm focused up the rock and roll vein, so a lot of my favorite bands are rock bands. It would definitely be hard for me to pick one favorite, but I think the thing that I'm trending towards mostly right now is a lot of local Vancouver bands. I've really been enjoying going out to the smaller venues and checking out a lot of the local bands versus some of the big stadiums. I just find that the experience is a lot more intimate. You can generally meet the band, you can see the band,
Yeah.
and you're supporting locals, so that's great. So I could name a few of my favorite local bands. One band is a three-piece that they're kind of like a psychedelic rock band from Vancouver. They're called the Chinga. Got a bunch of
Mhm.
albums out. They're really great, high energy rock. Then there's Hollow Groves. They're an excellent band as well. They're from Mission. I got my friend Scott's band. He's got an excellent band. And the name alone sells itself. They're called the Meaty Greens. So they're a lot of fun. They just got going and I've seen a couple of their shows and they're starting to pick up momentum. Yeah, for bigger bands, I like the old school Ozzy Osbourne. You can see my shirt, which I'm rocking
Yay.
today. Rest in peace, Ozzy.
Love Ozzy. He's amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of my musical influences are really like the hard rock music of the 70s. I really like those guitar tunes that they used. Obviously, the awesome rock queens like Joan Jett and Susie Quatro,
Love those
Lita
guys.
Ford.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Heart. Pat Benatar. But then there's like some Canadian stuff that I really love. Like I'm a big Canadian content lover. Like April Wine is probably one of my favorite bands of all time. Nazareth. You know, I just really get down on those cool rock sounds of the 70s style.
Nice, nice. Well, you got a pretty good vibe going on yourself, really good rock and roll vibe. So I could see those guys being influencing your career. They really are quite similar. So good on you. All right. If you're going to do media, right, what would be your choice? Would you go to sit at home, watch TV, go to a theater, go to a concert? Would you go to a bar, or would you choose karaoke?
Well, karaoke, that's a funny thing because being a musician and a singer as well, I'm horrible at karaoke.
Oh my gosh, so am I. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I can't read words on the screen. I can't get it right. I don't know what's going on, but it's comical though. But yeah, no. It's a fun time though, I guess, right? But no, I would say definitely a concert or go see a live band. I just want to, in my free time, those are the things I like to do as well as do. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Now I'm going to switch hats a little bit and we're going to talk about art.
Okay.
Do you have any artistic talents yourself? Do you do painting, or you mentioned you do photography? So that's why I'm asking if you paint as well or do any other kind of art.
Yeah, I've never really been huge into like drawing or stuff. I have a few pictures in my art book that I have drawn over the past, but I've never really dove too deep into it. But painting I really enjoy. I prefer to do like abstract art. I really like and then when I get into something new, like artistically, I kind of just go all in. Like a few years ago, I had an all-girl band and we were called the Hip Gypsies. And so I was making some band shirts for us, tie-dye. So then that put me on a tie-dye adventure. Next thing you know, my whole place is set up. I got tie-dyes drying everywhere. I got all these different kinds of dyes. I'm making big, huge tapestries, like king-size bed sheets with all different designs, right? My storage unit's got like a whole bunch of stuff in there that I still have. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. And then painting wise, I have a few things that I've painted like structurally, but I think the abstract pour painting is what I really got into. I really like that medium. So, you know, pour painting is like you mix your paint with some kind of lubricant so it can eat through the paint and show all the colors coming through the paint. So if you look it up, yeah, it's really cool. Pour painting. You can get some really cool, interesting designs out of it. And I actually gave a bunch of them to a friend of mine who has a black light. So last time I went over there, he had them all lit up under the black light and they were just popping. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like if I actually ever do an art show or something and decide to sell some of my work, I'm selling them with the black light because they just look really, really neat. So I like it when the kind of art that leaves something up to your imagination and you kind of can discover it once it's finished. It's kind of like you don't really know what it's going to look like till it's done. So I like that aspect.
Sometimes something like a song too, right? You really never know where it's going to go until it's finished, right?
Yeah, or going out and just living your life. Those kind of things inspire you, but you don't really realize it. It's maybe just simmering inside of you. And then, all of a sudden you sit down one day and a song pops up. You're like, oh, where did that come from? I just wrote that in like 20 minutes. And sometimes I've done that and it's been like a complete song. And I go, you know what? That's it. It came out. That's how it is. And I'm just going to leave it like that.
Nice.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Well, you know, those are some of the best songs, though. The ones that just, boom, they're out, right?
Yeah, I think that's some kind of a way to channel. You're channeling something there, some feelings or whatever. I think that's something that I've kind of gotten better at over the years is being able to make that connection between feelings and being able to wield that into a musical creation is sort of
nice.
Sort of part of the art form for me, for sure.
Yeah. You know, when you're just sitting there and all of a sudden it just hits you and it's such a strong song and you just got to get a pen and a paper out, right? And just go for it.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, I can't even write this fast enough. And I have horrible writing. I'm like, what did I write? Or I tend to use my phone a lot. Like if I'm just listening on my guitar or something, I'll just pop it on because sometimes a little jam, you come up with something cool and you go, oh, right? And sometimes if you don't record it, oh, it's to the wind, you can't remember exactly what it was, and just know you got those goosebumps and you know, that was something good. I wish I would have captured that. So I
Yeah.
tend to just pop it on, and you know, something comes out, it's like, oh, okay, cool, we got it. We can try and figure that out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hear you that way. Okay. So, if you're going to go and enjoy other people's arts, what kind of arts do you like to enjoy? Painting, photography, metal art, structural art, or just the art of being in nature?
Yes, all of the above. I like to go to art galleries. Actually, I saw on the poster here, there's one here in town. Might check that out. I really enjoy indigenous art. I have a pretty good collection of some different pieces that I've collected over the years. Yeah, I just like to see what people out there are creating. One place we stopped on our travels to Manitoba, at this gas station, there was this welded metal art sculpture, a big horse, and he was leaping into the air, and it was made out of all car parts, springs, everything neat, like all welded together. It was beautiful. I thought, wow, anything that people do to create things and put a lot of time into, I respect that. So, you know, it's neat to see what people are making and using their creative juices to do out there.
Oh yeah, I like that idea of the car parts. That's pretty fun. But you know, we don't really pay much attention to car parts anymore like we used to. Like, you know, back in the 70s, we had cars that we could actually fix the parts and then put them back in the car, right?
Right.
And nowadays, we're into this recycling era where everything has to be recycled. But instead of recycling or repairing or fixing parts for a car, instead what we do is we pull them off the car and we throw them away. So you wonder, are we further ahead now, or were we further ahead back then when we could actually repair the parts and put them back into the car?
Well, the guy that does the welding sculptures is probably happy because he gets a big pile of stuff to pick from wherever he's getting. He's got unlimited sources for his art, which is cool. Another big thing that is kind of cool is a lot of people are into found object art or just repurposing different things. So that's always something that I find very interesting, right? You take one thing and make a whole other thing out of it, or something that's now deemed as useless is now a beautiful piece of art. So
I love that, especially like if you go to the beach and they've got the old bottles that are like, you know, the pieces of glass that have been weathered by the sand over years and on the storms and stuff like that.
yeah,
Those are super pretty. What?
Yeah, sea glass. There's a lot of people making
Yeah.
some a lot of things like that on Vancouver Island. Yeah, some
Yeah.
shops. I saw that last summer.
Well, you were over on Vancouver Island this summer doing some touring around there.
Yeah, we had a great time. It was beautiful out there. We're hoping to go back, starting to plan some tours for over there for this summer. So, yeah.
Nice. Nice. I love going over to Vancouver Island. It's so pretty over there.
Oh
And
yeah,
all
and there's
the
just beaches everywhere, and wherever you go, there's a different beach to check out. Of course, I'm like, let's go here, let's go there.
and of course, if you're near Denman Island, you have to have an oyster burger.
Oh, never had one of those. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, they're awesome. You get like they take the oysters and they bread them, and then they
Okay.
deep fry them, and then they serve them on a hamburger bun with tartar sauce and lettuce and
Okay.
tomatoes.
Well, that
Super
sounds
good.
yummy.
Oh, I love that. So you're over on the island, so I'm like, you must have had an oyster burger because that's like what they're known for, right?
No, I haven't tried one, but you know, if you're there, that seafood is the freshest out there, so it'd be worth a try.
100%, 100%. Okay, so for fashion, what is your fashion trend? Do you tend to want to dress for comfort or style or?
Ooh, I think I'm definitely known as not being a fashionista. And I think comfort is high on my priorities. Even when I
Yeah.
get dressed up, like if I have to wear heels or something, I probably won't make it through the whole night. I got my backup bag with my running shoes. I'm definitely a person that loves comfort. I mean,
Yeah.
I could definitely show up looking 100%, but at some point, I'm probably going to go for comfort over everything else. But, you know, I would say, you know, a good band t-shirt and a good leather jacket, a good pair of rock and roll boots with flat, not high heels, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a good pair of blue jeans is my standby.
yeah. I'm with you there. I used to be able to wear high heels, and I don't know, I just can't do it these days. Something happened when COVID hit and I stopped wearing high heels. And then I realized how comfortable it is to wear like flat boots, right? And
Oh,
how
it's
much
like heaven
happier I
after
felt.
wearing a pair of heels. You're like, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? Why am I torturing myself?
Well, thankfully, they're coming out with some really nice flats, eh?
Yeah, you betcha.
Okay. So, what would you say would be some of your best beauty tips?
Um, I'm the kind of girl, I'm more au naturel. So I like I'm very conscious, health conscious about what I put on my body. So I like to use a lot of natural soap products, stuff with not a lot of preservatives or perfumes in there, things with like essential oils. Years ago, I worked for a company that made hemp soap with a friend of mine that used
Nice.
to own it. So that's really the thing that got me turned on to that kind of beauty products and stuff, just using stuff that's more natural. Also, I have picky skin, so a lot of things I can't, wear, like heavy makeup and lots of hair dye and stuff like that doesn't agree with me. So yeah, if I do wear makeup, it's very minimal. I don't really overdo it. I don't really overthink it. And yeah, it's just my vibe, my style.
Nice. So, what products do you like the best that are au natural?
Oh, I have a really good soap that I like to use. I like the smell of lavender, and I
I
can't
love
think
that.
of it now, but it is I want to say it's like something 41, but they're getting around in a lot of the stores now, which is really good. And it's a Vancouver-based company. I'd have to look up the actual name, but I use that soap religiously. I just love it, and it leaves your skin clean with no residue. It smells lovely, and yeah, so that'd be probably one of my favorites. And
Is it a goat's milk kind of?
I don't know. I think
Nope.
that one's hemp based. It's either hemp
Mm,
based or yeah, I'd have to grab it and look at it, but I'll let you know.
sounds good. I always like asking those questions because you can never
Yeah,
have
because
enough
you might
good.
like it.
Exactly. Oh, I love lavender. I really love lavender. I actually have lavender goat's milk soap, hand soap for my hands
Oh,
because I love the goat's milk and what they actually add into some of these homemade soaps. I love homemade soaps because it kind of makes you feel special that somebody actually took their time to make a homemade soap for you, you know? And these are family recipes and I'm all about family recipes because you got to love those things that are passed down from generation to generation to generation. My mom
Yeah.
taught me, my grandma taught me, those are fun things, right? But the soaps, most people don't realize that the preservatives that are used in natural products are actually natural too. They're vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. And so these are also very good beauty products as a preservative as well. So I quite like homemade stuff.
Yeah, and then with the soap that I use, it's local, so which is also nice, supporting a local company. And when I used to make the soap with my friend years ago, it was quite a relaxing experience. It's just like baking, and everything smells good, and yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
And you're hanging with your friends. It's a Canadian thing to do is bake
Yeah.
and make soap and make candles. And we do all
Yeah.
these things when the winter hits. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you think about like the pioneers and things like that. Like,
Yeah.
they knew how to do that, make all their own soap, make everything from scratch. So it's good to know those things, how to do those things as well, I think. So
Well, it kind of brings you back to your roots when you're from a family that was a pioneer family in Canada. Eh?
and then you don't have that reliance, on everything like when you can get a handle on how to do things yourself. So it's good.
Nice. So on that note, when you want to eat, do you want to eat at home or do you want to eat out?
I'm a mix of both because when we
Yeah.
were traveling, we ate out a lot, which was great and we enjoyed it. We had some good meals. But then by the time we got home, I was like, oh, I just want to cook myself a nice meal. And now that it's fall time, I can cook a lot of my favorite foods, which in the summertime, it's too hot to do. So, I just made a big batch of spaghetti, homemade spaghetti the other
Oh,
night. All this fun stuff like soups and stews and all that kind of slow cooker meals, which I really like. So,
yeah. I love those slow cooker meals. I should pull mine out and get that going. That would be a good idea. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Nothing
always nice.
better than nothing better than coming home and your dinner's already ready for you.
Yeah, place smells wonderful. It's ready to go. Yeah.
Those are nice things. Yeah, I like those things. What would be your favorite style of food? Because Canadians are known to be kind of like multi-genre, multi different types of foods.
Um, I think one of my favorites would be pizza. That's big on my
Uh,
list.
love
Everybody
pizza.
loves a good pizza pie. Maybe like
100%.
ham and pineapple or something like that.
Yeah.
I love a good pot of spaghetti. So that's always good. Up the pasta. And I think like maybe tacos. I think tacos
Mhm.
would be high on my list. That's more of like a
Nice.
summertime thing, but yeah. Any time of year is
Nice.
good.
You can never have enough tacos. There's fish tacos too. We like fish tacos, shrimp tacos. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds now.
All right. So if you're going to take time away from performing and stuff like that, I think you mentioned it, but I think you'd prefer to go to nature, or would you prefer to go to the city, or do you like to take time away from music in both places?
Definitely nature, 100%. I like the
Okay.
outdoors. I like to be out there, just enjoying the beautiful world we live in. For traveling purposes, I think that would be my main goal too. Like I like to go check out scenery and landscapes and things like that. Only because we do so much work with a lot of people around when we're doing music all the time. It's nice to take a little break from that and just unwind.
Nice. So would you prefer to be near the ocean or a mountain?
I'll take
Are
it
you-
anyway. If I'm near an ocean, you'll see me at the beach. If I'm in a mountain, I'll be hiking up it to go check out some view, right? I'm highly
Nice.
exploratory. You want
you
to see
also
around,
mentioned-
look around every corner, right? So,
100%. So you also like boating. So does that mean you like sailing, or are you a powerboat?
well, growing up, my dad had a ski boat, fishing boat, so we did that a lot, like tubing and all that kind of fun stuff. But I have been
Yeah.
out sailing a few times, and I really enjoyed it. If I get a chance to do that again, I would definitely do sailing again.
Nice. Well, sailing's a different vibe. It takes you a long time to get anywhere, though.
Yeah, but I think that's the point, right? Taking her easy.
And so the sailors enjoy the journey and the how to get there more than maybe a powerboater does, because it's powerboater, you set the course, boom, you're there, right? But you get there fast.
I'll touch you on a funny story. So at the end of August, we had a gig out on Vancouver Island, take a ferry to Quadra Island, and then one more ferry to the smaller island of Cortez. And our gig was on the end of a dock at a marina, so there was all these beautiful sailboats coming in and things like that, and got to meet a bunch of the local people. Just a beautiful place to play music. Even when we were playing the gig, I was just looking around, smiling and thinking, wow, this has got to be one of the coolest places I've played. I looked over the side of the dock we were playing. There's like a little sea lion just hanging out, checking out the music. There's people up on the hillside drinking their beer and wine and in the blankets, and people pulling up in their sailboats, and the sun was going down. It was just beautiful.
Nice.
So we're taking a break, and this pirate looking guy comes up, and he's got a full pirate look, and he's got even a prosthetic leg, like typical pirate look, right? So he comes up and, oh, hi, you guys are the band, and these are my two sailboats. I live on this one and I rent this one out, and cool to meet ya. And he comes up and, we're meeting a pirate in the middle of nowhere, and he's offering us up some homemade cinnamon buns. I just laughed and I went, you know what? I would not have expected that from the look of you, given the whole pirate thing. So, and they were delicious, by the way. But yeah, just a really great community of people out there. It's like a really rough-looking pirate guy and offering us homemade cinnamon buns. You can't go wrong.
No, definitely not, especially if they're hot and still from the oven. Oh my gosh, I love hot, sticky cinnamon buns. Yeah, it's definitely a Canadian thing, I think, those hot, sticky cinnamon buns.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That's so much fun. I used to go sailing up there as a kid, up in Cortez Island and stuff like that. And I used to have my little saxophone. We had a sailboat, and I'd pull my saxophone out and sit on the side of the sailboat or sit in a rock out there. And one of our favorite places was Cortez Island. We loved going to Cortez Island. Yeah.
I thank the people for having us, and they're going to have us back next year. I said, thank you for
Nice.
Paradise. Like, wow. And we went there for a few days. We have a couple friends that live there, so we really got to meet the locals, the local radio station. We got a tour of it. We got to meet a whole bunch of really nice people and also jam out there. So yeah, it was a great.
Well, in Cortez Island, like when you're playing on the water, the sound just carries.
You bet. It was just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you get the chance to dip your feet into the water and switch them around, you get that beautiful effervescence, that the phosphorescence where all of the light follows your feet. Have you ever done that?
I have seen that once or twice before. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't happening when we were there, but I know what you're talking about. The cool thing that people do over there is there's a small opening from the ocean to this great big lagoon. Like you think it's like a lake.
Yeah,
Or
inner tubing.
Well, when the tide's coming in, it whips them around, I guess, tube around it. Yeah.
I did that as a kid. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And the best time for that is when you're going from high tide to low tide, because that's when it's the most crazy run, right? The water's flowing the fastest, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, yeah, I loved that. We had like, those inner tubes that you'd get from your old car, and we had them on our sailboat, and we'd go there and we'd, yeah.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Did you try it?
No, we didn't get a chance to try it because we didn't have like tubes or anything when we were out there, but they were just telling us about it. And I thought, wow, that's fun. I'll have to try that next time.
You'll have to bring some tubes next time. Go tubing. Yeah. All right. So if you're on vacation or you're taking a break, are you going to want to go locally, regionally, or internationally? What's your next step?
I think I have plans to do all those things. So in due time, it's just checking off the bucket list.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So any particular place you want to go to internationally or regionally, or?
Well, Dean and I have been talking about going to the Grand Canyon. We'd like to go check that out. And obviously, like I mentioned, Ireland, I think, is big on our list because we have people we can go visit there. I'm told there's lots of great music there. So we'd like to check that out as well.
Nice. And what would you say have been some of your most favorite vacation places that you've been to already?
Well, definitely Cortez. And Cortez people, your place is awesome. So
yes, we love Cortez.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
And they got the best grocery store there.
What's that?
They've got the best grocery store there. It's all local food.
Yes, we went there and we had some coffee and talked to a bunch of people. It was really cool. I bought a handmade card for our friend that was hosting us there. So it was cool.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Amber, Ablaze band, where can we find your music, your shows?
Well, we have our new single, Wild Wild Woman, out. It's on all platforms, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud. Pretty much anywhere where you're listening to your music will be up on there, so you can check that out, Wild Wild Woman. We've also got a website that pretty much has everything that we have linked to it. It has all our social media. It's got our song up there. It's got you can see where we're playing, our past shows, everything is linked to that. It's www.amberablazeband.com. And then Big Records also has an artist site for us. I think it's Big Records World Amber Ablaze Band. And they're in the middle of updating some things on there still, but we should have everything up and running there shortly. You can check us out there as well. And then, Facebook, Instagram, X. We're on all the platforms. So yeah, just Google us and you'll see our logo. I don't know if you can see right here, but that's our logo for our band. And yeah, check us out. And we hope you'll come out to some of the shows.
Well, Amber, it's been really lovely to spend some time with you. Thank you for sharing some insight into your music journey and into your personal life and some of your stories. We've really enjoyed getting a chance to know you and learn some about you. So thank you.
Thank you very much for the excellent conversation over coffee.
Over coffee, because
and thank you, Marco, for having me on your channel.
You're welcome.
We have a tagline here, Amber. You ready for this?
Okay.
Okay. So it's I see, you see, we see. Grazie.
I see, you see, we see.
Grazie. Awesome. So you want to say it with me? Ready on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I see, you see, we see. Grazie. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, Amber Ablaze Band. And thank you very much to all of the listeners that are out there, wherever you are in the world. This has been Amber Ablaze on ICFB Star Entertainment. And Amber Ablaze is from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And we're just really grateful for your time today. So I see, we see, you see. Grazie.
Thank you, everybody, for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.